Hayley Gale has swapped whiteboards for a fertility clinic in Perth's western suburbs. After 25 years of teaching, the workload and stress had become overwhelming.
I had actually started to get physical symptoms in terms of stress-related things. I'd been to the doctor because I'd had heart palpitations and a few things like that, like breathing issues.
She's now working as a donor coordinator, helping families link up with egg and sperm donors. During the COVID pandemic, when workloads exploded, the 53-year-old reached a tipping point. She's worked in both public and private systems and says teacher burnout is universal.
It's not a school, it is every sector, and the pay is not the issue because there are other times when I was getting paid more. It's the work-life balance. It's having basically no life.
Teachers like Mrs. Gale are fed up by classes full to the brim and increased workloads.
A short-term memory to a long-term memory.
And it's driving them to leave sooner.
I noticed quite a significant shift 4 or 5 years ago when I first started to work for the union, that we saw teachers in that 60, 65-year-old bracket preparing for retirement, and then post-COVID, suddenly it's now 50 to 60.
According to Jobs and Skills Australia, early childhood, primary and secondary school teachers were in shortage across every state and territory in 2022 and 2023. It also found primary and secondary school teachers were among the most in-demand jobs last year. The federal government estimates by 2025 there'll be a shortfall of 4,000 secondary teachers. It hasn't done similar modelling on primary schools. Experts believe the problem is far worse than what's been publicly acknowledged.
We have seen teacher shortages in the past, no doubt. There has been moments of crisis, which the media would have called a crisis and policymakers would have as well. But the scale and the scope of this particular crisis at the moment is unprecedented.
Dr. Karnovsky says the answer lies in more government funding in wraparound support services to ease the load on teachers, something he says contributes significantly towards burnout.
They don't necessarily have the supports of counsellors, psychologists, social workers, you even have occupational therapists, physiotherapists, people who can come into school and support teachers in the work that they do.
The federal government says it's working to turn Australia's teacher shortages around through a range of reforms already in place, including Commonwealth-funded scholarships, paid practical placements for students, and reforms to teacher training.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Supporting teachers in meaningful ways, so there are enough of them to inspire the next generation of learners.